With the Notre Dame Fighting Irish looking to improve upon their top 10 ranking inside the college football playoff, the Irish welcomed in a familiar top 10 foe, but this year they're falling on hard times. Want to find out how the Irish performed and who this former top 10 foe is now? Stay tuned to find out on Talk Like a Champion. Welcome back, Irish Nation. Thank you all so much for joining us yet again. Of course, I am the one and only Mr. CeeLo, joining you here on a victorious day. As the Fighting Irish came out and they fought valiantly, but victoriously. Yeah. I was not impressed with the offensive side of it because yet and still, I'm still looking for certain things out of Riley Leonard that we're not getting. And we're getting too late in the season. But none of you, we didn't have very much we didn't have any housekeeping to do this week, so we'll just keep it moving. Hope you guys are doing great. I haven't been able to listen to any of the shows around with podcasts and whatnot yet, but I'll do that during the week, and more than likely I'll give you guys updates later on. But I'm still not happy where Riley Leonard's at. I figured with a week off we would see. Now, there were a couple of throws that he made I was impressed with. There was a couple of throws to Jaden Grayhouse that I liked. We only hit Bo Collins once, and then he had a bomb that he threw out of the back of the end zone. He was just late. And those are things that we cannot miss on, especially when you're looking at the level of competition. And if you guys know anything about it, if you guys haven't been watching ESPN or any other news networks or podcasts, I have a show called Gridiron Gav Triple Option that I give my not expert, but my candid opinions on what I saw. And I'm going to tell you something. If we can't get the deep ball established, guys, we're not going to go very far in the playoff. I'm sorry to hurt anybody's feelings, but we're not. This has got to be something we have to establish, and I mean pretty quick. But Leonard was 14 of 27, 215 yards and one score. Now the rushing is, it's going to be there. That's not an issue. 11 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a nifty run. But he has got to learn to look up the field. And then there are throws that he's just not being accurate on. This is going to kill us later on. And I'm not saying this to be mean. There are a lot of people that say, oh, Mr. CeeLo, you're so rude, you're so mean, you're this, that, and the other. Look, I'm calling it the way it is. Look, the teams are not going to be easy on us. They're going to come after us. And, looking at the statistics overall. Now, Brock Glenn for FSU was 5 of 18 for 51 yards and threw 2 interceptions. And the reality of it is, we have got to have some better performances throwing the football. There's no doubt we win the battle up front. Looking at it, we had 201 yards on the ground to 120 for Florida State. You cannot ask for your defense to play any better. Nearly 200 yards of offense, and we doubled what Florida State's output was. And then I want to look at what Steve Angeli was able to do. He threw 3 balls. He went 3 for 3, 37 yards and a touchdown, and hit Deion Colzie in the back of the end zone with a beautiful floater. And then Colzie did a great job bringing it in. And this is another issue, Irish fans. We talk about the type of players we have from Harrison, Greathouse, Bo Collins, and even Mitchell Evans. That was a beautiful ball he threw to Evans. Beautiful pull in. But here's the thing. Colzie, 6'4". Bo Collins, 6'3". Listen, I love Greathouse. When we get inside the red zone, 4 wide. You know who those guys need to be? Mitchell Evans. Deion Colzie on the outside. Bo Collins on the outside. Jaden Greathouse in the slot. Mitchell Evans in the slot. You have to put people on notice. And the reason why I say it that way, you got Bo Collins, you got Deion Colzie on the outside. You already saw what happened in that with Steve Angeli. It's a beautiful throw, by the way, by Angeli. But it's the fact that he's in the red zone and he's got a huge mismatch. How many, Denbroke, I hope somebody gets this to you. How many teams have one 6'2" cornerback on their team, let alone 3? And let me help you. Mitchell Evans, 6'5". Bo Collins, 6'3". Deion Colzie, 6'4". And then Jaden Greathouse is 6 foot, but he's the guy that you get whether you want to run a quick out where you put either Mitchell Evans on an inside route and it gets him open, or what they call a rub play, or then you get Mitchell Evans cutting inside, or do you just want to just throw the fade to the back of the end zone? Mitchell Evans runs and gets it. Or you have him climb the ladder. You don't necessarily have to throw it to the pylon. I think that's the problem. Don't ask him to beat it. You just basically look and you say, okay, this is where he is. I'm going to put it here. Let him go up and get it. Same thing with Colzie. Same thing with Collins. We should not be kicking field goals inside the 15-yard line. Now, a lot of people say inside the 20. I say inside the 15 because most of the time you can still get opportunities inside the 20-yard line where teams decide they want to play zone. Once you get inside the 15, it's almost automatic that teams are going to go to a man coverage. And look, Denbroke, you got to take advantage of those. You got to take advantage of it. And if Colzie didn't show you anything else, he showed you he is a guy that can go up and compete. We have to utilize these. Keep Colzie in the back pocket. Maybe against the Army game. Maybe that's the only game we will need him in. Hopefully we don't need him in the USC game. Hopefully we just need him in the Army game. And boom. We splash onto the scene. Everybody kept saying they were waiting on Deion Colzie to come out. Deion Colzie to come out. Maybe this is it. If this brings him out and people can see what he can do in the bright lights, because he hasn't gotten a shot this year. The last time Deion Colzie was a huge part of this team was, I recall, it was the Tennessee State game. That can't happen. Cannot happen. He is a good wide receiver. Mitchell Evans is finally getting back into it. We've got some talented players on this roster. The offense scares me. But I look at the defense and I say to myself, look how good. Listen, Marcus Freeman deserves his dues. He has got some, and they keep all talking about Kennedy Urlacher. Oh my gosh, this boy is a hitter. But as I said, Colzie had a touchdown reception, and we look at Jeremiah Love only running 9 of 19 for a touchdown, but it's also saw the return of Jadarian Price, who had a 65-yarder and a great reach for a touchdown. Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful play. He had 7 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. But for all that it's worth, Florida State, outside of a couple of big plays, has a pretty stout defense. I know a lot of people are going to look and say, you trying to say a team that gave up 450 yards is a stout defense, but then you also got to consider the 2 turnovers that they had too. You're consistently giving the ball back to your opposing team. That's exactly what it's going to look like. But let's give the defense a rundown. Jack Kaiser had 6 tackles, and Mr. Riley Mills has just been on a tear. He's been on a tear. He had 5 tackles and 3 sacks. Don't know much about Howard Cross, who also got hurt in this game, you guys. So hopefully we'll get some news on him, and we'll know more about his injury at a later date. But hopefully he'll be good. Jalen Snee had a sack in this game. Bryce Young and Jaden Osbury had half tackles for a loss, as well as Osbury had a sack in this game. Oh, excuse me. Young and Osbury split a sack in this game. Then Tui Alamaka had a sack as well. Donovan Henson had 2 sacks in this game. So the Irish combined for 8 sacks in this game. So we have to give this defense its just due. They are straight balling out considering the amount of players they've got on the injured that are out for the year. Also, the offensive line. Listen, we got to give this line a lot of credit with the guys that have gotten hurt. And could you imagine, Irish Nation, how good this team would be if it had those other guys? Listen, we have to be grateful for the guys that we have here, but these other guys are stepping up huge to give Notre Dame this 52-3 win. This is not something that we could just say we walked away with. This is a huge win for them. I'm very happy for our guys. You know, they worked their butts off, and I'm going to be honest with you, I had my doubts early on. And I'm not saying they were going to lose, but I was kind of concerned that FSU was going to come out playing with their hair on fire, and they did. They gave a large effort for the amount of the talent versus talent. Florida State's still talented, but I think ultimately what happened is there's quite a few guys that's probably either checked out or they just have put a ring in on this season. And it's unfortunate for Norvell. You could see he was really coaching his guys up, trying to get them to be in the right places, to focus and really put their hearts into it. But, you know, unfortunately with kids that age, you know, you're going through a season where you walk in, the chips are against you. And, I totally forgot that DJ Uiagalelei was out with a broken finger. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he didn't play, and their quarterback situation is in a whirlwind right now. And you looking around the national collegiate national scene, you notice that in a lot of places that a lot of these teams are basically in a whirlwind as far as the quarterbacks go. So needless to say, this is not a situation you want to be in. But a lot of your schools that have issues at quarterback are the ones you're seeing a lot of problems out of. You look at yesterday's landscape. One of the teams that won Saturday was a team that ultimately was a team that I felt at the beginning of the season was going to be a good team because they had a running back and a quarterback tandem. It turned out not to be true, but at the same time, they pulled one of the biggest upsets of the year Saturday night. But let's enjoy this win, the Irish Nation, and get ready for next week. As I said, Riley Leonard's got to do better throwing the football. I don't know if it's got to do with play calling, but he's got to understand one thing. Just if you're going to throw it deep, you got to anticipate. You know what they say, even Steven. When a guy's running a fly route and he gets even with that safety, guess what? He's beat. But let me know what you guys think. If you can hit me up down in the comments, let me know what you think about the game yesterday. Also, if you subscribe to the channel and join the Talk Like a Champion family, leave your name down there, please, guys, so I can identify you. Also, make sure when you comment, please leave something good. You know, I want to put it on the air. I want all of you to be a part of the conversation. That's what the comments are for. Not just to give your opinion, but to be a part of the show. Also, go to the Instagram and check me out at Mr. CeeLo. Check out the other shows and things that I'm involved in while you're there. Till we meet again. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun rise warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.